this week we're doing the second part of our series about volunteering.
Yes, in part 1 we talked about working abroad for limited pay, but this time we're focusing on working for free in your spare time locally.
Yeah, many charities in the UK have shops to raise money. People donate clothes and belongings, and these are then sold cheaply. Many people volunteer to help in a shop.
Yes, Oxfam, Cancer Research, the RSPCA, etc. They all have charity shops in the UK High Street.
Now, I went to the Red Cross site, Richard, to find out more about volunteering in a shop. It's fairly basic, really. Checking the quality of all the stuff that's been donated, sorting it out, and preparing it for sale. The items often have to be cleaned, you can imagine, perhaps ironed, labelled, and then priced.
Yes, and then of course you have to deal with customers and use a till.
Ah, except you don't.
You don't?
No, volunteering in a shop does not include using a till or a computer. Only employees do that.
Only paid employees, eh? That's surprising.
But the other, perhaps more surprising thing is that for the Red Cross, right, you can volunteer as an emergency responder.
Responding to emergencies? But what does that involve?
Well, as you can imagine, it's a bit more complex than working in a shop. For a start, you have to commit to being on call for a total of 24 hours per month. And you have to bear in mind that a shift is 12 hours. So if you're called up at 7 a.m., you are expected to help until 7 p.m.
Right, or 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. then.
Exactly.
This is the Red Cross though, but you're not giving any medical treatment, surely?
No, not at all. The main task is to be willing to drive a British Red Cross vehicle, which is usually a large van, SUV, or a 4x4.
So you do need a driving licence then?
Yes, and you also go through some training. Basically, if there's an emergency in your community, flooding for example, right, you drive the team to the site and then help with the situation, rescuing people and their pets perhaps, giving out blankets, making cups of tea.
Right, okay, so practical and also emotional support.
Yes, good people skills are important, as well as working under pressure. The Red Cross says, as an emergency response volunteer, you will give people the support they need at a time they need it the most.
Certainly great for the CV if you're looking for a job. You'd certainly look favourably on an applicant who's willing to work in the dark, cold and wet to help people, wouldn't you?
Yes. Now, I have a friend who works for what we call a soup kitchen, which is basically a place that provides free food for those who need it. These are nearly always run by volunteers.
Well, she does like cooking, doesn't she?
Yes, but when she first started, she was mainly washing up the used containers to put food in, putting them in a sterilizer, drying them, and then putting them away to be filled again the next day. She says it was hard work as she was on her feet all the time. Now I think she does some chopping up of the food and giving out bread, but it's still mainly washing up.
Well, it's hard on the feet, that's for sure, but good for the soul.
Exactly.